and welcome to Nat One. We're here playing WoW on the Witchlight, and yeah, we're without Peach for a hot second, but she'll be coming in shortly. But yeah, here's the recap. So, well, what happened last session? Yeah, they were in the hither in the swamp, mid battle with some mephits and a fucking troll. Then the worst thing that could possibly happen from wild magic happened, and it was fireball centered on Holland with Clapperclaw in the vicinity. Obviously, guilt fell all around, but Clapperclaw did survive. And then you end up in the inn at the end of the road, which is the Wandering Inn, which walks on many human legs, kind of like the chest from Discworld. And yeah, you go back in, and those who've met Sue before, well, I think everyone except Octavia, perhaps? I'm not sure. No, Octavia's been here before. I can't remember. Whatever. Everyone sees Sue again, and that's Aerith's Nana, so she's like, hey, hello, Nana. And they all have a drink. And Clapperclaw gets a little bit drunk and sad because he feels guilty about the fact that if he's so weak, he could die so easily and he won't be able to help anybody. And that's his little crying conversation he was having with Archie, who was upstairs with him, and that's where we left it. So, did I miss anything out? Because I feel like it was just a very long combat session and then a bit of... I think that's it, isn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Nice. So it's getting to some sort of evening feeling, even though the sun is kind of shining... the sun, obscured by the fog. There's still like a grey light shining in through the windows, but it's getting to like an evening feeling. Like it's been a long day for you guys. And you're all downstairs, and Archie has just gone upstairs to talk to Clapperclaw. Sue is sort of sitting there. She's eating a bowl of nuts, like just casually grazing her hands into there and just like eating the bowl of nuts as she sort of like watches you all and listens to conversations and stuff. But the amount of fire whiskey she's drank tonight, even it looks like she's probably been drinking all day as well. She's kind of just sleepily looking on at you guys as you all have your drinks. Alexander is standing there looking important as usual. Vasilisa's sort of cleaning up after everybody and serving this lizard folk and Swaggin who are having a date. Also these three satyrs who are playing cards. And yeah. You've received your food off Arena, who came in and gave you some food.
Taking potatoes.
And there you are. Octavia's sort of looking around at everybody too. And she has like a look on her face where she's acknowledged that it's the first time she's been left on her own with you guys and not Archie. So she kind of looks a bit awkward.
Are you okay? You look kind of awkward.
Yeah, I just realised I haven't properly introduced myself. I'm Octavia, and she just comes and shakes your hand.
Well, I'm Holland. You know, I'm like a really big fan of Lyra, who's the goddess of joy, if you didn't know, so that's kind of my thing. So I don't know if you're religious at all, but like, yeah, that's just what I'm doing most of the time.
Nice. I don't really know much about religion, but I can shoot this bow and run pretty fast, I guess. Well, I actually can't.
I can run fast.
Oh yeah, I've seen you bouncing around. That's it's pretty cool.
I mean, it's a little bit involuntary, but like, I try.
She smiles and extends a hand to Aerith.
Aerith smiles and extends her hand out. Hi, I'm Aerith. I can't run as fast, but I can teleport and make small animals and weird-looking creatures think that I'm attractive for some reason.
Oh, whoa. I mean, you don't really need to do that, though, do you?
I don't concern myself with those kinds of things, but I mean, I suppose I'm attractive, and she kind of gives like a weird looking face, like she's never really thought about that.
Yeah, you look great, and she kind of just like looks awkward again. She's gonna jump over to Flopsy.
Flopsy will grab hold of her hand and shake it quite vigorously while his leg bounces. And I'm Flopsy. I can run quite fast and bounce and dance. All of it at varying speeds, if you'd like to see some.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, well, first off, since I don't really know much about you, do you dance?
I mean, I'm not really good at it, but I can try.
Have you ever had the right leader?
Something sort of comes across her face and she gets rid of it straight away and smiles at you. I guess not.
Well, I suppose I could show you something that, you might be able to impress other people with. He kind of gives a little nod, meaning Archie. I'm not sure she'll get that he means that, but he's going to try and take her hand and lead her in quite a fast-paced dance. It's not like an intimate affair. He's going to like swing her around and do spins and kind of jig with his feet.
As you do that, Sue just sort of lazily moves her hand in the air and some like really like joyful jazz music comes on.
Aerith starts singing.
What's she saying when she's singing?
I don't fucking know.
Is she like like scoopty bap boop?
Oh yeah, I can imagine. She's like scatter da da da.
Flopsy's going to look over at Aerith with a huge smile on his face and start counter-scatting as if he's doing backing vocals. He'll lead... how's Octavia dancing, by the way? Is she very reserved as Flopsy's like leading?
Let's see.
Or is she going along with the spin?
She is... she's sort of holding her hand out to you whilst you hold it and looking down at her feet as she moves them side to side and then looking back up at you, but like her face is very observant. Like you can see that she's got a sharp eye to her and she's watching everything that you do, but with the mirror reflection of what you're doing, she sometimes moves the wrong foot.
Okay. I'm gonna look straight at her and just try and confidently say, the telltale sign of inexperienced dancers that they always look at their feet. Look at me, and just let the music take you. Don't focus too much. It can be more fun if it's more free-flowing. And as he says that, he's going to jump onto the bar stools on here. He's not going to jump onto the table or bar, because that would be insulting to the to the inn. But he's going to start walking along the bar stools while holding her hand.
Yeah, she sort of gingerly follows you, but when not looking at you, bumps her knee into one of the benches, the stools, but still keeps her eye contact on your face, and she's like got her tongue sticking out and biting it.
Aerith looks over to Holland and she's like, "Want to dance?"
Yeah, why not?
So then Aerith will leave like Holland out to like over here and start doing a real swanky swing dance. All the while she's still scatting.
Skibbity bap bap boop.
Skibbity bap dum down.
Flopsy's going to look to Octavia and kind of have a moment of realization to a few fluttered blinks. You know, it's been quite a while since I've been able to captivate a room. Everybody! And he's going to turn his attention to everyone, still holding Octavia's hand, still having his feet jig. Can everybody else hear the music? Is everyone else deaf? I think it's fair time that we all added to this. And he's going to pat his feet onto the... he's standing on the bar now. Fuck it. He's going to pat his feet along to the music, making stomps, almost like it's We Will Rock You is going to come on. So he adds to the music in that way and is going to try and get everybody else standing up. I think it's time we all joined in the music and the movement. Looking at you two, directly over at this date that's happening, even though they've just got their food.
Roll a persuasion check.
Can my scatting help him?
No.
That is a 12.
You see this swag in here. He's looking up at you, and he turns his head over and bats his no eyelashes at all at Lizzie. Lizzie, who also doesn't have eyelashes, bats them back, and she extends a graceful arm to him, and he takes her and swivels around, and they get into the middle room and start boogieing. These three satyrs that are like deeply looking, like hunched back, looking at their cards in their hand, they all just sort of like cast their eyes towards you really darkly, and then shake their head and tut, and then they like put more trinkets into the centre of the table. And yeah, they're very concentrated on what they're doing. It seems to be a rather serious match that's happening. But these two start fucking getting down.
Flopsy is going to look across the room from his perch and see that he hasn't quite managed to get the crowd that he would have wanted to have gotten.
Alex, you see when you glance at Alexander, Alexander sort of does like this little side glance of like anxiety. Like, he would dance if he could, but he just feels like he can't, and you can tell that.
Octavia, do you think that you...
I was just also going to say that Vass is bopping along to the music anyway, so...
nice.
Yeah. Go on.
Octavia, do you feel like you've got the hang of some of this? Your footwork is quite impressive.
I guess. She glances down at her feet and then, like, snaps her eyes back up again.
Do you think you'd be able to, teach what you've learned? Show it off for the room? I see Alexander over there doesn't seem to have a partner.
I don't know. Sure, I guess. She just goes over to Alexander and she sort of, like, she's looking over at you a bit strangely, and then she, like, looks at Alexander and, like, leans in to whisper to him, and Alexander just shrugs and looks a bit bashful. Like, holds his arm, you know, like...
I'm gonna walk along and say to Sue, I apologise for standing on your table. I'm working the culinary arts myself. I know that's not exactly up to code.
No, it's fine, darling. Don't worry about it. And every time you lift your foot, she, like, waves her hand and just it like dusts off with prestidigitation.
Well, in that case, would you like to ascend as well? I'm going to hold a hand out to her.
She looks at you a bit coy. And she goes, "Oh, I haven't been asked to dance in such a long time." She takes your hand and you see her hitch her skirt up as she puts her boot on one of the barrels and lifts herself up with all of her strength onto the surface of this table. The counter, whatever it is. The bar, that's the one.
Aerith's going to change the vibe and go from like a swingy scat to like a dun 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 dun, like a salsa type beat.
Just as you do that, Flopsy's going to start walking backwards, stunting along this bar here, while staring directly at
Oh, is she not
Sue.
coming with you?
She's not coming with me. He's going to back away, but like dancing, kind of moving his hands in a gesture to make her dance as well. So they're going to like dance apart, then dance towards each other.
I get it. Yeah, Alexander just looks a bit awkward and everyone has a little boogie. And Sue looks fucking drunk. Like, she's like sort of catching herself from nearly falling off the table every now and then, but she's got hold of your hand and she's having a great little time. Yeah.
Sue, I had one question to ask, if you don't mind.
She looks at you. Well, it depends. Depends what it is, really, doesn't it?
Well, I don't want to inquire into your deep
You're not going to ask
secrets
me
or anything.
You're not going to ask me my age, are you? She twiddles her hair.
Oh, never. I would never do anything like that. He brushes his ear to the side with his paw. This is the first time in quite a while that, well, we've just managed to let everything go and feel safe. I wondered if every night at the inn is like that, and how you manage to keep this place so safe.
Oh, well, I can tell you now. If anyone causes trouble in here, they get suplexed through the floor.
And if Bavlorna or someone like that were to come in, you'd be able to just right through the floor?
Bavlorna won't be coming in here anyway. I can tell you that. It's much too clean.
Well, what about Scabatha?
Much too sophisticated.
Pillarin?
What's her name again? Tutheran.
And I think it's Endelyn.
Endelyn Moongrave, yes. We don't know much about her, so if you have a reason why she doesn't come in here, it might be helpful for us.
I'd say it's probably because it's much too bright.
Oh, is she a goth?
She has a little flair for the dramatics, I'd say. But yeah, she's have you seen her? Have you ever seen her in person?
No, just a picture.
Oh, she's all bones. That's all she is. She wears this awful dress, and it's massive, and she thinks she's it, really. She's drunk. She's waving her hands like she's literally talking like she's telling you the lore of the world right now. Like sit down and listen to this. She wears this horrible dress. It's massive. It makes her look way bigger than what she actually is. But if you took that away, she'd just be Bones. Bones held up by pure despair, I reckon. There's not an ounce of joy in that woman.
Well, suppose someone could bring joy to the unjoyful. What do you reckon that would do?
Well, you'd have an hard job. She'd probably just collapse.
Perhaps we gave her some stew first.
Stew?
Yeah, because you said she's all skinny. Maybe she just needs some, like, a hearty broth.
Oh no, she doesn't have skin, young man. There's no skin on that body, it's just bones. There's nowhere for it to go.
Just bones?
Mm-hmm.
Skeleton?
It's rather frightening, isn't it? Oh, I hope we don't get nightmares tonight.
I'm not scared of anything.
She looks at you like you're a very young person. And she goes, alright. Whatever you say. Well, now you've asked me 3 questions, I suppose I might ask you some as well.
Oh, ask away. We hide nothing from good friends.
Well, my first one. She leans close to you. Her eyes sort of like flick, like close, like one after the other, like lizard-like, because of how drunk she is. And she gets close to your ear and goes, "So are you single?"
His eyes widen and the rest of his face drops. Well, strictly speaking, yes. I've never really put myself into that marketplace.
Marketplace? Well, it's one of the very few things in this realm that you don't have to exchange things for. There's no cost to love.
Well, I agree that does sound quite true. I've just never really pictured myself with somebody to love in a single or not single way.
Octavia sort of turns around and she's like, yeah, there is a cost to love. If you trade your love or whatever, you'll lose something like your heart. That's what happened to me. And Sue just sort of winks at her. And she's like, well, yes, but that's if you get into silly circumstances and start talking to the Fae, like you could pull the wool over their eyes. And Octavia sort of does like one of those, all right, yeah. Maybe it was me being stupid. But you can see that something comes out an expression of like relief that she has got it back. She almost like pats her little chest to be assured of that feeling. She sort of like looks at you all and says, "Where did you lot even come from anyway? I know that you two came from the carnival. Obviously, Aerith, you're my darling child. Octavia, I've seen you around here before, but like, what's your histories?" This is to mainly Flopsy and Holland. Where have you come from and where do you want to go?
Where did you come from, Cotton Eye Joe?
Well, I came from right around here, in Thither, but I don't remember a lot of this place. I left when I was very young, and the Witchlight Carnival is all I really know.
Just a little side note there, you wouldn't have called it Thither, because it wouldn't have been splintered, it would just Prismere in general. But it's just that region of Prismere.
But Flopsy knows it as Thither now. So that's why he was
Thither now. She's just nodding along. What was the last thing you said?
The Witchlight Carnival is all I really know. So this is home, but it doesn't feel like home to me. It's all strange.
Oh yes, they've certainly had their little fun and games with the place. I'll tell you that. I mean, I'm kind of stuck in hither. Sometimes I can get through the fog, but it's just really difficult.
Oh, well, there goes my next question. I was going to ask if you had a guide to show you the way, would you be able to move the tavern across to the different sections of Prismere?
I could probably get from hither to thither, but I couldn't get from hither to yon. Have you seen the size of those mountains?
No, I don't think I have really seen the size of the mountains. Maybe as a boy, I don't remember how big they are, unless they're like very present in the foreground.
It might not have looked the same as you remember anyway. So yeah, you wouldn't see them through the fog of hither anyway. The most you could have seen is when you first entered upon the bridge, that Queen's Causeway. When you first entered hither, you might have seen in the very, very far off distance the outline of a shadow of a mountainside, but that's as far as you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was...
Oh, sorry. Go on.
No, I was just going to say, I was hoping to maybe take you with us, so we would be able to get to yon together.
Oh, I'd never get these many feet up that mountain, I'm telling you. There's a lot of very small paths. It's just hard. And not worth it.
I understand.
Well, perhaps you can get us to the border.
Your background music's a lot. Your background sounds a lot there, Jason.
Perhaps you can get us to the border, Nana?
Oh, of course, of course. Do you want us to bring your owlbear in and carriage?
Yeah.
She nods at Alexander, and Alexander like breathes a massive sigh of relief that he's not going to be expected to dance. Goes outside, and he's going to bring in Uglay. Uglay comes in. He sort of looks around, sniffs the air, and Alexander sort of stands behind him and looks a bit like sort of coy at you lot and looks at the owlbear and just like squints a little bit, like, really? And he just like sits on this table, and like plumps his arse on a chair. It sort of like cracks at the legs a little bit, but it's still up. And yeah, he's brought the carriage in as well, and he just starts to like push, like, it's massive, but he's gonna like jimmy it through this door and like chuck it down the basement stairs. You just hear it clattering. And he's like, yeah, I don't think that thing's going to be able to sleep upstairs, so it will have to sleep in the basement as well. And he points at the owlbear.
Oh, that's fine. He can kind of just settle down wherever. But could he have like some? Well, he likes deer, but I think any kind of meat will do. He's just, he's not had breakfast.
Oh, don't you worry, young lad. We've got several chickens. She's just gonna run to the door and be like, Arena! She looks back at Uglay's size and looks back into the room, into the kitchen, and she's like, give us about 12 chickens, please, darling. And you just hear Arena be like, yeah, sure. In the background, she comes back in. It's all taken care of, don't you worry.
Also, he's not a thing. His name is Uglay, and he's a very respectable gentleman.
Alexander sort of smirks at that and looks at him. He's still got his arms crossed, and he looks back at you and he's like, Uglay, a respectable gentleman.
Yeah.
And he is a beast.
Well, we have our conversation.
He was trained by Will. Will of the Feywild.
Oh, I know of Will of the Feywild. How is he doing?
He's dead.
Alexander.
Yeah,
he looks taken aback immediately and he goes, no way. He was like a legend.
But he left us Uglay.
Say that again, Lauren, you cut out.
But he left us Uglay.
He looks over at Uglay with a bit of a different sort of expression now, as though he has a little bit more respect for that whole situation. Oh, that is really sad. I'm sorry about that. I've been a bit. He sort of like tries to excuse himself with a hand wave. Sue sort of hears this news as well, and she's like, "Oh bloody hell! I thought that kid had lived forever."
If it is any consolation, he died how he lived, as a legend. He's the only reason, well, maybe not the only reason, but a major reason in why we are all here, and how we survived. He saved upwards of 10 children from Scabatha's clutches.
Did he now? Bracky. She sort of smiles a bit, like nods and smiles at that. Like, like in a, he were a good un sort of way. Meanwhile...
In fact...
excuse me. Meanwhile, Archie, you're upstairs with Clapperclaw, who's crying his little eyes out.
Oh, Clapperclaw. What was the last thing he said?
He was saying about how he feels really scared of dying, not because he's scared of dying, but because he's scared of not being helpful to Holland if he did die. Because what hit from his perspective, when running up to Holland to help him out, when the fireball happened, it knocked him, and he wasn't able to get to Holland to help him, and that's what he's got a problem with.
Well... sometimes I worry that I don't help enough as well. I mean, sure, I can shoot my arrows and everything, but I mean, I wasn't there for Will. I know how you must feel. Archie starts to tear up.
At this, he sort of lifts his head off his pillow and looks towards you. Even with his hollow eyes, you can still sense this empathy coming from him. And he's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. There's me crying about my friend who's still okay, and your friend is gone."
Well, but I don't think Will would want me to cry. It's not going to stop me, but you know, I don't think he'd want me to. And I'm sure Holland doesn't want you to cry. I mean, we could ask him, but I know what he'd say.
"You're right. Oh, Archie, come here." And he's just gonna like sit on his legs off the side of the bed and like reach forwards towards you with his arms outstretched.
I'm gonna pull him in for a big hug.
Mm. You feel his claws on your back. Yeah, he's got these like very like cold claws as well. Like as he like tries to cradle the back of your head, it's just a very harsh, sort of hard feeling. He squeezes you a little bit tight in a way that like his fucking skull is kind of bony and sticks in your jawline a bit, and it's not very comfortable hug at all. But he starts to like wipe his claw up your back and up and down your back to try and console you.
Oh, Clapperclaw, you don't need to be... It's not me who's, sorry, I'm not trying to, like take over, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, I'm just... You don't need to console me. I mean,
well,
you might not want to believe it, but you're just a kid, you know?
Well, everybody needs a hug sometimes. Nobody deserves to be consoled more than anybody else. That's really important, you know?
Yeah, I wouldn't want... I don't know I don't know what I think. I guess I'm just confused.
I never asked you about, like, you know, your stuff that was happening. Like, you know, when I remember I heard something about, I don't know, like that woman, that dryad, and
Vanellope.
Yeah, what, like, you're going through that as well. Like, I don't have anything like that.
Well, I guess I'm like a long path before you get to like a river that you have to cross. That is to say, you know, I like to ignore the problem until I have to face it. And that's how it always works for me. That's how I work best, you know, just push everything to the side and focus on something different.
Yeah. I guess. Oh, I bet if you could have had more time with Will, you would have done, right? Well,
you know what the last thing I said to Will was?
What?
I don't remember.
Did you not get to say I love you to your friend?
I don't know. All I really remember saying was that I thought he was pretty annoying. I hope that's not the last thing I said to him.
Yeah, but you could tell how much you loved him, really.
I guess you never know when the last time you'll see a person is. So you just gotta hug your friends even tighter when you see them. And I pull him in for another uncomfortable hug.
And as on top of the uncomfort of the actual physical hug, you also sense this urgency in his body that he kind of wants to get away from this one to go downstairs, because he's like, you know, that feeling of a potential energy in his body. And he's like, yeah, you're right. Well, in that case, I'm gonna have to spend as much time with Holland as I can.
Yeah, and I'm gonna have to spend as much time with, like, everyone. Oh, we've got no time to waste.
Oh yeah, I mean everybody too as well. I mean, I don't think you know that I love you all. Okay, you know that I love you all, right? is not.
I know.
You know, it's
I
just
know.
he's my brother
It's
prince.
brotherly love.
Yeah.
I know.
You can be my
why
sister.
Are we? Of course, but why are we wasting time talking about it? We should be. Archie kicks the door open. Come on, we've got no time to waste.
Yeah, let's go. He comes clattering down the stairs. Falls.
Cool jump.
He falls face first at the bottom of the staircase. You technically come outside as well, so no one even sees him fall, and he walks in through the front door.
No one sees my cool jump either.
He walks in and Alexander just sort of side-eyes him and he's like, whatever, it's Clopper. And he comes in and he's like, everyone! Oh, you're all dancing! Nice! And he's just going to jump in and start dancing. And get up to Holland. Holland, you're with Ooglay.
Oh, aren't we all? Yeah, he just went and sat down with Ooglay in the quiet doing the thing. That being Ooglay eating 12 chickens and Holland watching him.
So before Clapperclaw came running up to you, Ooglay's just sort of sat there patiently twiddling his thumbs for this chicken, which hasn't arrived yet. He sort of just glances around the room very stoically.
Why do you have thumbs?
He looks down at his hands and looks back up at you, and he's like, I don't know.
Owls don't have thumbs. I don't think bears have thumbs. Or they could, get in places. So...
Yes.
Maybe owlbears are just so, they got the 9 to 5, they got a lot to do. Maybe they're an extra, mini limb.
He stares at you.
Anyway, I don't know why I have thumbs. My mum and dad did, so that's probably why. But we shouldn't take having thumbs for granted, because, Clapperclaw doesn't have any at the moment. But he does have claws, which is pretty cool. I kind of wish I had claws. Do you have claws?
No.
I have claws. Look, I'm wearing them, and I present my clothing.
Yo!
I do a catwalk.
Hi, Holland.
Hi, how's it going?
Much better. I had a bit of a strange moment, but it's okay now, and I feel good, and everyone is here, and that's what matters, isn't it?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
I was just talking to Ooglay about thumbs.
I don't remember what it's like to have thumb. Well, I do. I remember I held a little hammer in my hand at one point. Maybe I used my thumb for that.
I think you can take it or leave it with, stick stuff. Because, you can put your thumb around for extra grip, or you can, move it away, and maybe that's a bit of finesse, you watcha and stuff. And he's, making hand movements.
He does, a karate stance, and he's like, watcha! And his claws are just massive. He just snaps them, to punctuate that.
Watcha? And Holland does, a return karate thing and, stands up.
He, as he's, looking at his flame-painted claws, he looks up at you and he's like, Holland, can you teach me how to be, stronger?
Well, it depends. Stronger how?
Well, if someone hit me, then maybe I wouldn't, be hurt as much. Tougher. I'm, I could get punched and take it.
Well, I don't really know. You can't really grow muscle mass. I don't know, maybe we could try and put some muscles in like your padding, and that'll.
Maybe if we put like a gourd where your arms are, it'll look like big muscles.
Yeah.
You could try on my armor.
Sue is overhearing this conversation, and she's like, "You know what? It wouldn't be too hard to create something that could like surround your body, like made out of metal or something." And she's like umming and ahhing and grabbing his little elbows and lifting him up and checking out our big ears and stuff. Yeah. Leave it with me. She gives you a wink, Holland.
Well, I can keep my armor then. Unless you want to try it on anyway.
Oh yeah, I could try it on. What? I don't know what she's talking about. That's kind of creepy. He's trying to whisper that, and she's just there smiling, thinking she's doing something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What can you do? He like puts his like chest piece like on Clapperclaw. It's like a massive t-shirt. It's hide armor, so it like weighs him down a bit.
Hide. Let's see. Let's see if he feels much more confident in this. Ooh, no. He puts it on and it's a bit like boxy on him. So that when he like moves, like his belly pokes out of the bottom and stuff, and like you can see through his like buttons on his shirt, like the bits of stuffing that are still like on show, sort of thing. That's just my way of saying it's the same AC.
Aww.
Yeah. Well, I definitely want to wear it better than my old shirt. Like, it just looks cooler, right?
Well, maybe you could wear your old shirt on top of it, and it would double the protection. Unlikely.
Maybe. Nah, yeah, it's just 12.
What type of armor is that, anyway?
Hide.
Hide? Where?
For the table.
Oh, okay. Like, from what? I crawl under this table with the statues.
You crawl under the table. When you get under there, you smell this sort of like distinct furry, like cloven hoof stench as you look around at all of their feet, like their long, furry sort of horse legs. They're like fawn legs, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
The little hoofs like clattering around under there.
Oh. Have you guys ever heard of a pedicure?
Yeah, their hoofs are quite... Because they've been slapping around in the swamps and stuff, like they've got a bit of dirt on there and stuff like that. One guy just sort of peers down under the table and is like, "What are you doing down there?"
I'm hiding.
Hiding from what?
I stick my head out. Holland, what am I hiding from?
From me. And he like
Oh,
taps the floor as if he's like playing tag.
And this guy rolls his eyes and he's like, "Oh, what are you gonna do?"
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, you couldn't even imagine the things I'm gonna do. Oh, so evil.
He just like turns his face around again and he's got like a little toothpick in his mouth that he just chews on, and he just like sort of nods his head up just like, yeah, okay, whatever. And he continues looking at his cards.
Me and my henchman over here, and he like points his thumb back to Ooglay.
This
we
one
ain't around.
This one turns around and like looks at Ooglay and is like, "Where have you got that from?"
He's my friend. And my henchman.
Oh, he'll be your friend, alright. He'll be your friend until he gets hungry.
No, Ooglay's a bit different.
That arena comes in with fucking 2 big platters of chicken and slaps them down in front of Ooglay, but like steps away very like after she puts them down. And Witchlight delicately picks up the chicken with like wings and just starts eating them with his beak, like tearing off the meat very delicately.
Aw. See?
He's a gentleman.
Sue's sort of looking around at everybody, and she's starting to like yawn, and she says, "Right, well, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna be getting off to bed now because you know a lady needs a beauty sleep. So I'll see you in the morning, bright and early, and don't forget what I said. Make sure you look after yourselves. You eat your breakfast, dinner, and tea, and you wash your underwear, right?"
All sound advice. We will follow it.
Excellent.
Thank you.
And instead of going upstairs, she goes downstairs.
I love you, Nana.
Oh, come here, you. She almost forgot you because of how drunk she is. She wraps her arms around your waist because you're much taller than her, and she squeezes you really, really tight, and you get that bloom of, like, comfort feeling from her. She pulls away and pats you on the head, holds your cheek a little bit, looks into your eyes, and she's like, "You've got to look after these lot, you know."
I know, Nana. I'm doing my best.
Good. And then she goes this way.
Oh, she seems nice.
I lived with her my entire childhood.
Is she always drunk?
Is she always drunk?
No.
No, tonight was just a special night.
I'll say.
Well, I've never had a drink in my life, and I had a drink tonight.
Yeah, and I've never sniffed satyr feet, I guess. So I guess that's like something I've never done before. That's what we're doing, right?
Well, it is a great night for celebrations, so Clapperclaw, would you like another?
Yeah. As you're talking, you see this couple start to get a bit smoochy, and then they like pull each other out and go upstairs to bed.
Oh.
Archie looks like mournfully as they kiss.
Aww. But as you are looking mournfully, if you glance at Octavia, she's also looking at them too, like in sort of like her head's tilted in like an R way, like aw sort of thing.
Mine's tilted in like an aww, like the sad aw.
Aww. Yeah, these guys they stick around for a while, but they're gonna piss off as well. They leave through the front door. They don't stay over.
Well, it looks like those guys aren't staying.
Scared of me and my headman.
They give you like this little squint as they walk out, but a smile as well, as if to be like, yeah, okay. Like, you wouldn't. They look very sure of themselves that you wouldn't have a chance against them.
Yeah, let him think that.
You know, I once knew this guy who could look at a deck of cards, like look at it for like 60 seconds, and then he'd like put them all in this order, you know, like just random order. He'd look at them, and then he'd like remember every single one, and he'd show you the cards, and he'd tell you a story at the same time.
Wow.
No.
This is Octavia.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty cool. I think his
that's
name's Alex or something.
It's a neat trick.
Yeah, I mean, maybe one day I'll be able to do that. You know, maybe if I focus on it and like learn how to remember cards. Do you have any hidden talents?
Well, I just learnt one right now, which I don't think I'm really good at, but do you want me to show you?
Oh, of course I do. And Archie's gonna pull up a chair and sit on it reverse style.
Oh no, she's gonna like stand in front of the chair, like taller than you, and like put a hand on your like arm, and go, "You're kind of like necessary in this. I can't do this without you."
To be stood up.
Yeah.
All right, I'll stand up. I
All
guess
right.
my weary legs will never rest.
Do you mind if I hold your hand?
Archie looks a little bit stunned for a second. She's not really sure why. And says, "Yeah, sure. Why would that be a problem?" And puts her hand out.
All right. She takes it, and then she's gonna act how Flopsy did with her, and attempt to try to teach Archie the footsteps that she was doing before. But instead of watching her own feet, she's gonna watch Archie's.
What's she doing?
She's sort of dancing with you and like sort of moving her feet and looking at yours, and sort of implying that she wants you to copy her feet movements, and she's just gonna sort of dance with you.
Flopsy's going to accompany this with music if the music in the inn is stopped.
Oh, it hasn't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but you can still panpipe along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Aerith's gonna scat.
Archie tries to get the footwork right. I guess she's gonna fumble a little bit, and she's like, you know something even cooler than dancing just like Flopsy?
What?
Dancing like yourself. And she's just gonna start throwing it back or something. She's just gonna start in a flurry of dance moves. She's not throwing it back.
You know what's better than dancing like Flopsy? Dancing like yourself, twerks on the bar. Octavia sort of leans back like, whoa!
No, she didn't actually.
Whoa, wait, come the fuck on. Really?
Maybe that's part of the dance, but she does a full 50 dance moves. She's a stanky leg, she does
I
everything.
swear to God, Archie twerking is gonna live rent free. How long?
Fine then, Archie twerks.
Hey,
Throw it back.
Throwing it back.
I'm gonna take out silver coins and start throwing them over Archie.
5 silvers, baby blue.
5 silvers, baby blue.
Aerith's gonna make it rain on Archie while still scatting.
She's eager and unafraid. Oh. Octavia sort of leans back a bit and puts her hand on her chin, and she's just like, yeah, wow. And she looks over at Flop, she's just like, why didn't you teach me how to do that?
It's easy, and Aerith's gonna join Archie.
And they're all gonna stand in a circle twerk.
It's a circle twerk.
Flopsy's gonna hold everyone's hand in the circle twerk, and we're all gonna twerk holding hands.
Back to back.
Flopsy twerking too.
Clapperclaw jumps in the center of all of you and just twerks in a circle. He's like, oh yeah,
get in on this.
Ooh, yeah.
It just fucking cuts to Holland and Witchlight just still sat at the table, and they share one look at each other and look back at them.
Yes.
Flopsy is gonna walk over while still twerking to the table. You do know we're not going to stop until everybody does this.
Witchlight has got the last strand of chicken on the bone and just peels it off very slowly whilst maintaining eye contact with you as you twerk your way over.
Flopsy is going to maintain eye contact with Witchlight, and even though he can't understand him, he's just going to look in his eyes. Come on, Witchlight. What's better? After stuffing your belly and filling yourself, you just need to let loose. He's just twerking the entire time.
Witchlight looks at Holland and he says, no.
Oh, but I was only going to dance if you dance.
Absolutely not.
How about we do a thumb dance? And he puts his elbows on the table and starts moving his thumbs.
He, with his new chicken leg, raises it up high and then just like bobs it up and down one time and then stuffs it in his mouth.
Yeah! We'll work on that.
He just says, have fun.
Yeah, Holland's just gonna start cartwheeling and shit.
We got the circle twerk when Holland doing cartwheels as background dancer.
Excellent.
Yeah, he's like going the other way to you guys, so it looks like one of those midsummer dances. Like one guy cartwheeling around.
Like the maypole, just like, way! Yeah. Oh, bless you. Jeez. Clapperclaw gets tired fast and he like comes out of the circle and he goes to lean against the bar and he's like, hey, can I get some service, please? Vass comes over and they're like, yeah, I just wondering if are you allowed to drink in here? And Clapperclaw's just like, yeah, I'm a seasoned veteran at drinking in here nowadays. Do you not know that? And
that means a lot.
Aerith will break away from the circle and be like, I think it's enough for tonight, Clapperclaw.
Really? Holland?
Yeah,
I shoot Holland that mom glare.
Yeah, that's enough for tonight, Clapperclaw, and he sneaks him a wink.
Roll a persuasion at him just to see if he recognises this. He's good. He's like, when he's looking over at you, you can see he's not even maintaining eye contact with you when he swivels his head around. You see he's a little bit tipsy anyway. He's like not really looking at you because when he's like, Holland, so he like swivels his head back round at Aerith and he's like, oh please.
Flopsy's going to walk over with a dabbly gait.
Well, it's time for bed.
Okay, fine.
Can I have a hug, Clapperclaw?
Of course. And he gives you a hug. It seems as though he's acting drunker than he is. Vass just sort of like rolls their eyes and walks over here.
Aerith gives him a big old hug and like kisses him on the forehead and sends him off to bed.
Nice. He just, with his head hanging low, he scrapes his feet all the way. No, it's not even that way. Scrapes his feet all the way out the door and up the stairs.
That's how drunk he is. He goes that way, realizes it's the wrong way.
Bless him. He goes to bed anyway. He needed it. He was tired. Octavia is still dancing with Archie, and she's like, yeah, but we can still get a drink though, right?
Yeah, I think we're not, assuming we're both not kids, which I'm not a kid.
Oh no, I'm not a kid.
I think I have to play the mom card here, guys. It's been a great night, but I think we have big things to do tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. Well, me and Octavia are just gonna, we're just gonna go upstairs. Come on, Octavia. Let's get some drinks.
Yeah. Hey, like...
Aerith's gonna wait here. Aerith's gonna wait and make sure everyone goes upstairs.
Yeah, come on, let's go. Do you know how to, she, looks at Archie dead serious. She's like, do you know how to, go invisible or anything?
Oh, wait 1 second. I just gotta give Holland a hug. Hey, Holland, can I borrow that cloak of invisibility?
Oh, but I was gonna use it to get some blue...
Oh, but that's what we're... Oh, come with us, Holland.
Oh, can I? Why don't you, we all go to bed, and then, in the middle of the night, we sneak downstairs?
And have our blue lagoons.
Yeah. Whatever
that's
that is.
Idea.
Don't tell Aerith and Flopsy, though.
They'll never know. Not from me, anyway. Snitches get...
Yeah, and I'm gonna zip it, lock it, and stick it in my pocket.
Octavia smiles really big at that one. Yeah, okay. Yeah, yawn. Oh, we're so tired, aren't we? Let's go. Come on, let's all go to bed.
Wowee, I'm pooped.
Yeah, I'm pooped all over.
Yeah. Come on, let's go.
Yawn.
Are we sleeping in the same room? Come on, let's have a party.
Yeah, come on.
All right.
Let's go.
Octavia runs upstairs and sort of like peeks into the room that Clapperclaw's in, and she's like, we can't go in there. He's like snoring.
He's so sleepy.
Ah, bless.
Why don't we just blow over his face and then he won't wake up because he won't hear us?
A pillow over his face?
Yeah.
I normally say he can't breathe, but I mean, I don't think he needs to.
Yeah, it's fine. He won't wake up. It's fine. Well, come on, let's go in. Let's do this.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Yeah, she's just gonna walk in and then like really gingerly sort of like hold her hands out so that she doesn't trip over anything, but she kind of like bumps into like a little table or whatever. Lauren, I hope you're okay with me moving Holland just to show where you are.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and she's like puts her finger to her mouth like shh, and she's like, Clapperclaw has got his arse in the air and he's like like bent, like as if he's like jumped onto the bed on his knees and just flopped his head down onto the pillow, doing the snore me sort of thing. And yeah, he's out for the count. He's like absolutely dead to the world.
Cozy little guy.
Yeah. Meanwhile, you three are up there. Aerith and Flopsy.
Aerith looks at Flopsy. And she nods and she says, "We're not going to let them drink anymore tonight, right?"
Well, as you say, we have a massive day ahead of us tomorrow, so yes, it's probably right that everybody goes to bed and gets a good night's sleep.
Well,
but
I know kids. They're going to try to sneak down.
Isn't it good, though, that if you think about it, we have a lot to worry about, but tonight I saw none of it. I felt none of it. When everybody was dancing, everybody was just happy.
I understand.
You don't really want to end that early, do you, Aerith?
Flopsy, I think out of anybody you can understand that while it's good, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, we are going somewhere very dangerous, and I'd rather have them all snug and having a good night's rest. You don't have to worry about it. I will take on that burden.
Can you two talk amongst yourselves for a second, please? I will be right back.
Okay. Flopsy.
I do agree everybody needs to be ready, but there's a time for that, surely?
Just, Flopsy, promise me one thing.
What's that?
If we get to yawn and things look bad, take them and go.
Are you joking, Aerith?
No, I'm not joking. We're going to potentially fight all three of the sisters at once. That is...
Yes, and if we leave, all of us, partway through that, then whoever's left behind, you're meaning you right now, would be, well, I would say left to the wolves, but it's even worse than that. You'd be left to 3 hags.
Aerith comes over and puts a hand on Flopsy's shoulder and gets a very hard glint in her eyes, and she said, "So if it was between me or Holland, who would you pick?"
Came in at an intense moment.
What?
I've never really been one for games where you can't win. They often seem rigged, and if they are, we can rig the game in our favor.
I'm not planning on going anywhere, Flopsy. The smile comes back.
Neither am I. I don't want you making promises like this or asking for promises like this. Look, Aerith, I am a cupcake salesman from a carnival. Holland runs a carousel, and Archie, was a child when we first saw her in the carnival, and now they're a grown adult with a bow. None of this really makes a lot of sense. We can't... Basically, we need each other. We are a mismatched bundle of nonsensical... None of this belongs together, but for some reason, when we've come together, we've made it work. We're like so many ingredients that should never be put together, but they taste fantastic. If you take all of them away, what are you left with?
No.
You might be the perfect icing for this team, but if you take the rest of us away, you're going to have nothing to stand on.
Aerith doesn't say anything. Instead, she pulls out a piece of paper, calls over and calls Vass. And on the paper it says, "Nice try, but you can't beat Mom's intuition," with a little heart from Aerith. And then she goes over to the music speaker and changes it to something a lot more like Marvin Gaye-esque. And like comes back over to Flopsy and holds a hand out and says, "Let's forget the night then. Are you dancing with me again, Flopsy?"
Well, how could I resist? He'll take your hand and start dancing.
And before she like goes fully into the dance, she's like, "Vass, if those kiddos come down here and ask you for a drink, you know the proper things to ensure that doesn't happen."
I'm gonna go to bed soon. Like it's kind of getting a little late. I'm kind of a little bit tired.
No, I know. I mean, you know the proper precautions against "quote unquote" thieves.
Oh yeah, that's all in place anyway. You don't have to worry about that.
Awesome, thank you so much. And blows Vass a kiss.
Are you two okay down here by yourself? I mean, I know Alex is probably gonna stay for a little bit longer, but I kind of want to get going. I finished my shift like a half hour ago.
I'm sure Nana wouldn't mind. I lived here all my life, Vass. Go on and get some sleep.
Alright, okay. She's gonna go over to order up and feed him a cracker. And, like, then he leaves through the store. And you hear them speak to Arena for a little while, and then they both sort of come through. Arena kind of looks a little bit like roll an insight, Flopsy.
Nat One, 24.
Arena is fucking well jealous of Aerith right now. You can literally you can see it immediately on her face. As soon as she walks through, she's like dusting her hands off like whatever fucking breadcrumbs she's been using that day. And sort of like drying her hands on a tea towel, and as soon as she glances over at you two standing close together, this like feet just drop comes to her face of just like oh you know, and then with that nat 20 you can see that she almost feels as though it's her fault as to why that's not happening, and she sort of links arms with Vass and goes out.
Is everything alright, Flopsy?
Yes, everything seems to be fine. I do think I should be getting up early tomorrow, though. As you say, we have a big day, and well, I've had the idea of if we're having fun now, and we know we're not going to have fun tomorrow, why don't we just extend the fun as far as we can? So, we should have something good to look forward to tomorrow morning, is what I'm saying.
Oh, we just started dancing, but yeah, of course. Aerith.
I assumed we would have said that after we had danced for a while.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, Aerith.
Oh, okay, never mind then. Aerith is, still looks like she doesn't want to stop dancing. Um, but she accepts it and she says, "Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna stay down here."
Are you sure it would be more comfortable upstairs? There's beds. I'm sure you know.
I have my own sleeping place.
Okay, well, get a good night's rest. We have a big day tomorrow. But we're still going to be smiling.
Yeah, and she gives a big smile.
All right. Alex knows that you sleep downstairs with Sue, and he's gonna take Ooglay down there as well. And he's like, he can just sleep in the corner. I mean, you trust him, right? He's had his food, so.
It's fine, Alex. I'll be right down.
All right. He's gonna take Ooglay down to the basement, and then he's gonna head off to his own bed.
Aerith just kind of, once everybody's gone, the smile drops and the lines of worry set into her face. And she kind of just sits at the table and, like, sighs very heavily and runs her fingers through her hair. And just kind of looks around a little bit at, like, all of her childhood. And at, like, goes through her bag and looks at the various items she's collected from her friends and pulls out the letter of Zabilner and just kind of whispers to herself, "I hope this goes well."
Mm-hmm.
And then puts it all away and heads downstairs.
Nice. You get down there, and of course, the door is closed. Sue isn't down there in the room, as she does tend to slip off through the door to go to sleep. So at night, you're very used to this. It's just like her bedroom. It's her personal space. That's where she goes. But Ooglay is curled up in the corner of the basement, and your bed is just exactly how it is, how it's always been. If not a little tiny bit uncomfortable, because obviously previously you never really had to like feel things. You still get in there and it smells just like it used to. But meanwhile, Octavia, Holland, and Archie. Octavia's just been sort of sat on the edge of this bed, sort of like looking at you guys and laughing along with whatever you were saying. Is there anything in particular you're speaking about before you choose to go downstairs?
She's actually probably got her ear to the like floor, wait until she can't hear like the muffled voices anymore.
Yeah, there's a sudden silence comes down like through the floorboards because the music gets turned off as the last person leaves the room.
Guys, the coast is clear. Okay.
What's our plan?
I think the plan's this. We go down there, we get the blue lagoons, we bring them up here, and we drink the blue lagoons.
I like that plan.
Thank you. I thought of it myself.
I especially like the blue lagoon part.
Oh yeah, for real. I know that blue's one of your colors.
Is
I
it?
think.
No. I'm experimenting. I'm brand.
Oh, well, my sincerest apologies.
Well, what?
I know that, like, behind the sort of flame stripes, Clapperclaw's claws are blue. Well, shall we head on down there? Maybe, okay, I think I'll keep a lookout, and Octavia, you can keep a lookout with me, and Holland,
Yeah.
you slip on that sneaky cloak, and you do the sneaking and the pilfering,
Okay, I'll give it my best shot.
Oh, but Holland, just remember, the magical net cloak only lasts for 2 hours. If you take 1 second longer, you'll be as clear as day.
I will also say that Aerith trances, so she's conscious, and so if Aerith Holland makes noise, she will hear that.
Okay, so we're gonna keep a lookout, and yeah, okay, that's the plan.
You're both gonna look out up here.
What, in case Flopsy comes out of his room?
Well, I mean, I don't think it's really Flopsy we gotta worry about.
Yeah, Flopsy, you know, he's
Oh,
probably, I can hear him snoring, you know?
Well, like the people who work here?
Downstairs.
I've got a thought, right? Octavia, we get back to back. I look through the door, you look up the stairs, and if either of us see anything, we make a unicorn noise. Do you know what a unicorn sounds like?
Well, like neigh?
No. Unicorns just like speak normally.
Oh!
Yeah. So say I see someone. That's like what a unicorn would say.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. She puts like a finger on her head like a horn.
Oh, good idea. Archie does that as well.
Okay, I'm a unicorn.
Me too.
Alright, let's go.
Archie gallops over.
When you open this door, by the way, to get out into the hallway, you're going to see 3 cupcakes on the floor out there, each with a word written in icing on it. The words are, "Don't wake Aerith," and they're all about the situation.
Yes.
Oh, I think this cupcake.
What did they say?
Don't wake Aerith.
I think this cupcake's for Aerith. She might have dropped it. Holland, maybe you could sneak in to Aerith's room and plant it right next to her.
Why would I do that?
Because she dropped it.
No, it's a full message. It says, "Don't wake Aerith." It's clearly Flopsy's handwriting.
Oh, well, that's a good point. I mean, I just saw them as individual things. Don't wake. I see what you mean. Anyway, let's get back into character. And Archie continues galloping.
Yeah, come on, let's go. She stands back to back with you the whole time. Like, even when you turn around corners, she, like, turns around with you. Yeah, you sort of... She's not wearing a whole fucking quiver and arrows and shit. Like, she's just wearing her normal clothes. So, yes.
So is Archie.
Yeah, she's in casual mode. And, yeah, you make it down the stairs. Holland, are you wearing the... how are you doing this?
I'd tell you, but then I'd be giving it away. No. He whirls on the cloak. He's like, okay, three blue lagoons coming up.
Wait, Holland, I just realized something.
Yeah?
But where are you?
I've put you on the steps outside, because you have to go outside to go back in.
Okay.
Yeah. I've put you on the
there you are, Holland.
Yeah.
Take my shoes. Taking my shoes off.
Your shoes? They're quite sticky.
They're just to borrow, so I want them back.
Okay.
But put them on, and then and then your feet, your footsteps will make no noise.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so you'll be double sneaky.
Nice.
As you emerge,
all you gotta worry about is breathing too loudly.
As you emerge out into the nighttime air, the sun has gone down eventually. There's this very, very dark night ahead of you as you enter. It's quite a fresh night, even though there's a lot of fog and swampy smells around. But you feel like it's probably a lot clearer because you are through. This entire tavern's been moving this whole time, and as you come sort of step down the steps, you can see underneath the platform of stone where the ground is for the front door. You can see the vast swamps moving beneath you as these feet sort of walk underneath, and there's a bit of a jolt to it as you walk. But upon the horizon, you can see the fogs that separate hither from yon. You are rather close so far. And yeah, you take steps down onto this stone pathway, and you make it to the front door. Octavia sort of looks towards Archie for direction, so she's like, am I gonna stay at the bottom of these stairs and you go in, or do you want me to come in with you?
Well, I was just thinking of like standing in the doorway, and then just looking in, and then you stand there, and you get like a clear view.
Okay, that's a good idea. Yeah, she's gonna stand like she's a spy. And Holland, you roll me a stealth check with advantage, and you are, well, I mean, you're invisible and your feet make no noise. So I'm actually, yeah, make it with advantage.
You don't mind if I yes.
I'm gonna
When
make the DC considerably lower because of it. So don't get double nat ones.
I'll try my best.
Okay.
I'll blow on my digital dice and hope for the best.
Yeah. Wow. You creak open that door. Smooth as butter. You peer in, left and right. It's dark in here now. The fire is out. There's shadowy tables and chairs. The moonlight softly shimmering through the windows. And above the bar, above all the glasses that hang by their stems, standing upon a perch, is the closed-eyed, sleeping body of a black crow, which snores gently. Every now and then its wing twitches. You make your way over to the bar. And you see when you come behind it, an all manner of different barrels, filled with different liquids. And on the back bar, lots and lots of different coloured bottles, with different coloured liquids inside. It almost looks like treasure the way that it glints in the moonlight. Shining. You see one blue and viscous. When you pick it up and shake it, it's very syrupy. And you see another... This one's like clear and bubbly. And it's only blue curacao and lemonade. Bit of vodka nearby as well. And not only that, fire whiskey. And like other gloopy things that you think, what? Like, you sniff it, smells a bit like mango.
What's all this shit? I'm looking for Blue Lagoon.
She's gonna talk out loud.
Would you like to make an intelligence check for me, please?
Oh, maybe.
You mean they don't have it pre-made?
Listen. Listen. I know how to make a Blue Lagoon. So the way you make blue is you mix green and yellow. So, he's gonna reach over to the nearest green bottle, whatever the fuck that is.
You sniff it. It smells like watermelon. It says Midori on the front.
Ah. Now, there's water in lagoon, so we're onto something. Pours that in. Reaches for something yellow.
Yellow. It's very thick and creamy. It says Advocate on the front.
Advocate? The only thing I've ever advocated for is the and he just pours it in.
It pours out like lumpy eggnog.
I don't remember it being... I better put something a bit less soupy in it, so, dilute it. You're just going to reach for a random tap and pull it down.
One of the taps bursts out as the nozzles have been taken off. it sort of like poof straight away, like as the gas just explodes out of it into the cup, thrusting the rest of the liquid out of the cup. Not fully, but just a lot of it slops down your arms. And then when you push the tap back up again, another fart of gas comes out, and the head is like 5 centimeters tall in this jug that you've created.
Wait,
I have
what?
a question.
What?
You said a tap, yeah? Like a beer tap?
Okay.
Yeah, so the head of it, the foam layer of it is about 5 centimeters tall due to the amount of gas when the tap's nozzles get taken off at the end of the night.
Okay.
It's extremely foamy.
I got a question.
Okay.
So Aerith basically knew that these guys were going to try something. Would she have heard any like the clinking of bottles or the gat like the fatunk? Because she's like aptly listening.
No,
okay, no,
because 24 against your passive perception is absolutely not a chance. Holland is a ghost right now.
Oh, you're gonna have a very disappointed mom then.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that seems about what a blue lagoon is. And I'll just get 2 J2Os out the fridge and and I'll take a big fucking slice of this cheese, I guess.
Nice.
They forgot it on the counter.
Meanwhile, whilst you're clinking around in there, Octavia has her back against the door, and she looks like she's extremely important right now. And she looks over at Archie, and she's like, "Well, this is pretty fun. I haven't had this much fun in a long time."
Really? What have you been like doing for, you know?
No, it really doesn't matter. I'm just gonna say, like, I think you're super cool, you know?
Thanks. I think you're really cool. I mean, I don't want to like sound like weird, but I was talking to Clapperclaw earlier, and I was like saying that you should like hug your friends and like you should tell them how you really feel. I think you're really cool, and I don't know why, but I feel really like drawn to you.
Same. Like you feel that too? Like I thought it was crazy. Like I felt that feeling, like, you know, like when we were in Bavlorna's and that crazy chef was like chopping away and stuff, and there was something, I don't know. I don't know.
It's strange, but I mean, I think about it sometimes. Like when I first saw you, I was running up to save Flopsy, who just exploded. I forgot about everything. I could just, you know, I'm just like looking. I just see you, and I'm like, whoa. I'm surprised I didn't faint then and there.
Really?
Yeah.
That was so weird, right? Like.
Yeah.
I mean, I when I look in your eyes, and then the door opens and it's Holland's there.
Oh, hi,
Well,
Holland.
it went a bit wrong, but I think it'll do.
What have you got there?
You can't see. Do you take the hood down when you come outside?
Yeah.
All right. You step outside. You take the hood down, and when you do, you reveal this jug that's in your hand, full of this 2 liquids that do not go together at all. Therefore, is sort of what's the word? Curdled.
Oh, what's that? The creature of the Black Lagoon?
Well, yeah, it went up weirdly thick, so I brought some J2O to, like, dilute it.
Oh, good idea.
Yeah, I kind of didn't realize I'd always, like, Mr. Light would always make them for me. I kind of didn't realize that it wasn't, you know.
Mr. Light used to make you blue lagoons.
Yeah. I mean, it was only on, like, my birthday and stuff. Like, instead we'd have blue lagoons and have a gossip, but, you know.
I wish I was allowed blue lagoons on my birthday. All my parents would ever let me drink was Moe Shandon. And that's horrible.
What the heck
Well-
is that?
I know, right?
Yeah. Anyway, let's go. Come on. She runs up the stairs. Back into the room. I'm just going to take you into the room. Oops, sorry. I didn't realise. There we go. You're back in the room. She sneaks back in. And she's like, okay, come on, let's, did you get, like, straws or something? We could all, like, drink it at the same time.
Oh no, they'd put them in the taps, I think. Clog them up.
Maybe, we each take it in turns to take a drink, and when you take a drink, you have to say a fun fact about yourself.
Ooh, yeah.
Alright.
Yeah.
A fun fact. Okay.
Yeah.
Who's
well, I guess
going
I'll
first?
go first.
Oh.
Well,
Great minds think alike, right?
you think so? She looks like complimented by the Great Minds thing. And she says, well, okay, my name's Archie, and I really like horses. And takes a chug.
Who do you pass it to?
Holland.
My name's Holland, and that's not your fact, don't worry. My fact is, I do run a carousel, and I still kind of do, so, you know, I don't really know how long it's been since I last run it, because, you know, Feywild times, but I get paid time off, so it should be okay.
PTO.
Nice. She takes the drink and, she says, I'm Octavia. I guess, okay, fine. When I was a kid, I had a teddy, and it was called Cadbury, and, I loved him very much, and then I brought him around with me everywhere I went, and then he, and then someone, like, ripped his head off, and she just downs a bit of it.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry to, like, trauma dump on you.
No. What was his name?
Cadbury.
Oh, that's pretty.
Is he a little bear?
Yeah, it was like you know, like your pet, your owl bear, but without the owl face, like with a bear face, so like a bear.
Oh, like a non-owl bear? So what, that's like
an owl
half
bear.
Half bear?
Yeah, like owl bear, though.
Oh, that's weird. I don't think I've ever seen one of those.
Yeah.
But anyway, I guess it's my turn. My name's Archie. And I'm thinking about trying out he, him pronouns. Takes a chug.
Oh, for real?
like she and he.
Oh, slay.
Cool.
Asking.
Yeah.
She's being non-conforming.
She's like, Octavia's like, yeah, I can, yeah, totally, I can do that if you want.
You think so?
Yeah.
What about you, Holland?
Yeah, I mean, I'm just kidding, of course.
Oh, I thought you were gonna, like smite me or something.
Yeah, the secret fifth tenet of Lyra is to just be crazy transphobic, sorry. No, I'm kidding.
Ah, shucks.
That'd be just your luck.
It's your turn, Holland.
Well, I've got to think of another fact. Okay. One time we were packing up the carnival, and I was like getting annoyed because it was like really early in the morning and I was tired, and I sort of kicked one of the wheels of the caravan and it fell off, and the caravan like fell down a hill, and I blamed it on Thwacko because he was always to remember. So, yeah.
Who's Thwacko?
Oh, he's the owner of these. Pull out the clown shoes.
She looks at him and just like makes like a okay king sort of face. Takes the drink from you.
Is he the grumpy guy at the food orchard?
Yeah, he's the horrible, evil little clown.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I said it before.
Octavia sort of getting a bit drunk. She's like, yeah, speaking of like horrible evil clown guys, ugh, I used to know like this guy, and like he was kind of like my boyfriend or something, but like it wasn't like it was kind of like, well, yeah, we kind of like lived together and stuff, and he wasn't very good, he wasn't very nice. And she's just gonna take a big drink this time.
Oh god, his name's not Agden, is it?
She like pulls the drink away and does like a burp and wipes her mouth, and she's like, oh no, Agden Longscarf?
Yeah, well, he's not evil now, but, you know, he was, like, the only person who was, like, evil I knew for quite a while, so, I don't know, I just thought...
Nah, like, he's dating Jebek, and she's like, well, if he's good now, then sure, but, like, she was kind of way too good for him.
She just likes cubes now.
Oh.
I can relate to that, though, because, like, I knew this... I mean, she's not evil or anything. She's just, like, I guess a little bit confused. She thinks she's, like, straight. But like, she kissed me, and she said she liked it, so...
What do you mean she thinks she's, like, straight? What does that mean?
Well, I don't know. Last time I saw her, she was, like, trying to eat this little guy. I'll pull out, Mimi, or the other one. The appropriate one. Like, trying to eat this little guy and trying to kiss this, like, ugly, sweaty, like, guy.
Roll me a charisma save. Just to see how this comes across, because this could go wrong.
Oh, shit. Oh, -1 to charisma.
Okay. She looks at you and she says, well, you know, maybe she's, like, bisexual or something. That's okay, right?
Well, no, she was like saying, "Oh, Archie, it's just nature," and like, I don't know. I felt like she was being mean because like I like girls. I mean, you know, usually when I have love, which I don't have, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, I like girls too, but I like guys as well.
I'm sorry, are we talking about Vanellope?
Yeah.
Well, listen. I don't want to come off too strong or anything. But
Holland's turned into a grandfather immediately.
yeah. He's old beyond his years.
Yes.
I don't want to sound too strong or anything, as Mr. Witch always said. But the only time I've met her, she was kind of awful, and not because she was bisexual. That was a separate aspect of her personality. She was just kind of terrible as a person in her core, and she was also like mind controlling him into being her thing. I don't know. So like, yeah, I don't really think it's the problem is that she goes both ways, because you know trees tend to do that. You know, they have roots, but they also go to the sky.
Oh.
Yeah, she was just kind of mean.
Preach.
Yeah, for real.
Is that your like
Yeah.
ex-girlfriend?
Well, I don't know if she'd call us that, but I guess I would. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah. Maybe we're a lot more similar than I thought.
You think so?
Yeah.
I mean, we both have, like, bows. And do you have a name for your bow?
Yeah, it's Swift.
Mine's called Zephyr.
Whoa.
That
Octavia's got really cheesy looking at Archie. Holland, you might feel like a third wheel now. Yeah, she's sort of looking a bit onwards and...
Hey, do you want to see something really cool?
Sure, all the time.
I also have a horse companion that travels with me. I pull up the ghost key. Take a look.
Alright. She's... holds the key and just doesn't know what to do with it.
You look through the little eye thing.
Oh. She like pulls it up to her eye and peeps through it. Looks at you. And then sort of tilts her head and looks behind you. And Glitterhoof, the celestial-looking ghost horse, which is Palomino, is it? Horse. Yeah. Thank God I remembered a species of horse. Is sort of like perched on the like dresser drawer behind you here, like sort of really awkwardly like standing because she's always behind you unless you turn to look at her. And she's like, "Whoa, did you know that you've got like a horse?" Like, oh, you did.
I know, that's what I was telling you.
Yeah, I mean that's amazing. Does it just like follow you around everywhere?
Oh yeah, she's my companion. I've known her since I think she was born before I was.
Whoa, that's cool. And she like looks around the whole entire room and like wondering if there's anything else that she can see through it. And she doesn't react to anything at all, so it seems that there isn't. She puts it away.
Do you not have a ghost host?
No, I don't. I don't know how to get one, and if I did, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Yeah, that's really cool. And she hands it you back the key, and she says, "I've got this really like weird feeling. Like, does anybody else have this feeling? Like, you know, like something's gonna happen or something. You know, like, I don't know, like." We might get into a situation where we have to like save each other's lives or something.
That'd be cool. Like, I mean, that kind of happened earlier today, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't do too good. Like, I'm not as fast of a runner as you, and I'm not as good as shooting as you, and I'm not as good as making. Like, I can't do what you like. You know, like the spikes and stuff. Like, they just came out of the ground. Like, that was amazing.
Oh, well, you know, I got my magic beams.
Yeah. And you. And she looks at Holland and she remembers the explosion. And you can see it sort of pass through her eyes. Like, that's like super powerful.
Well,
Holland, you really are something.
Yeah, only so much good it does if I can't control it.
Yeah.
And I mean, Octavia, you know, you're acting as if you're not as cool, but like the way that you like shot the arrows and we were sharing as well. Like, I would have run out of arrows if it wasn't for you. You were always by my side, and like, you know, I've kind of been feeling pretty low because of like stuff that's happened. But like, you know, I'm feeling like I could fly. Like you did, Holland, when we were at that orphanage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, should I see if I can fly? She's gonna like stand on like a box or something and like jump.
I'll cast lift.
Meanwhile, while you're playing in the room together, I'm just gonna head on over to Aerith, if you'd like to put yourself on this map.
Yeah, where's my bed?
Your bed, I know it's not literally on this map because it's very difficult to get things exactly how I want them. Yeah, it would be there, but that's exactly where I imagined it. Don't worry, I'll make you as the actual size that you are. Yeah, you are downstairs. Oogle is snoring away. And you haven't heard a peep from anybody. It's been very, very quiet indeed. Almost to a point where you kind of a bit suspicious, but then like maybe something crosses your mind where you think, you know what, maybe they did just go to bed. And you're drifting away. Dreams are starting to flow into your mind. Dreams of your body being much more solid than it is right now. Especially since you're lying in this bed, which is much more uncomfortable than you remember. And as your sort of eyes start to roll back in your head as you are about to enter this full trance, Sue sort of jumps through this door, slams it open, and she comes running over to you, grabs hold of you, and she says, "Now listen here, child. You have to stay here. I'm going to go and get your friends, and you have to wait here and don't do anything and don't move a muscle, okay? You've got to trust me."
Man, what?
"I've got no time to explain. I'm going to run upstairs, I'm going to get your friends, I'm going to bring them down here. You just wait here, okay? Don't move a muscle. You trust me,
Aerith
right?"
nods.
Okay.
Aerith nods.
Sue comes belting it up these stairs, and she runs outside, up the stairs, into the dorms area. You can hear guys, whilst you're in there and you're sort of playing around, being Peter Pan, flying around the room, you can hear footsteps and a door opening and a door shutting, and then another door, and then sound comes to your door. Even if you've locked it from the inside, the lock just ominously lifts. Sue pokes her head into the room. She's like, "All of you need to come downstairs right now."
Oh, we didn't take that much, I promise.
No time to explain, it's an emergency. You need to come downstairs right now into the basement.
Oh, is Ooglay okay?
Everything's fine with Ooglay, you just need to get downstairs, no questioning it, okay?
Okay.
Octavia's like, "Do I need to go?" She's like, "Everybody, all of you." You look over at Clapperclaw, who's asleep. Sue's been keeping her voice down, so he can't hear anything. She's standing at the door as if to like motion you through quickly, like with her hand. Downstairs, into the basement. What were you saying, Lauren?
Oh, we'll just let him rest, I guess.
Okay. She... yeah, she's just going to hurry you out of the room. So you all leave the bedroom. Octavia, Holland, Archie, go down to the basement. She peeps into this room. And Flopsy, you hear the door open. Whether you were asleep, I don't know how you were asleep, but she's going to...
he is snoring.
Yeah. She's going to come creeping up to you. As you sort of rouse from your sleep, you feel your body rocking from side to side. It's Sue looking down on you.
Yes, Mum, I'm already awake. Oh, sorry. Hello.
You need to go down to the basement, please. It's an emergency.
An emergency? Certainly. Is everyone okay?
Yes. For now, everyone's fine for now. For now, everybody's fine. Everyone's fine for now. And she's going to keep pushing you to come out and go down to the basement. As you are walking through the bar, Order Up wakes up and starts to squawk, and she like waves her hand at him, and it's almost like a metal clasp goes around his beak, and shuts him up. And she ushers you down the stairs into the basement, where I will put you now. She isn't in the basement right now, but yeah, she ushers you from the top floor, from the ground floor into the basement. Everybody put yourselves on the steps.
Aerith waves at everybody very sheepishly as they come downstairs.
Aerith, what's happening?
Has Nana ever acted like this before?
Not as far as you're aware. She has been secretive in some regards, obviously, as you know, but she's never acted this urgent.
Aerith kind of shrugs her shoulders and says, "No, and Nana's never acted like this before. She just came barging out of that door and points at the open. Is it open or is it closed again?
When you look up to the door, you see her, like, looking down at you all, sort of, kind of a little bit regretfully, and she motions a hand over the wooden door itself, and it turns to a stone wall that matches the rest of the stone walls, and she disappears behind it.
Wait.
What? Wait, hang on.
Sorry, say that again. Lauren?
Has she locked us in, or is she in with us?
She's locked you in.
Okay.
When she seals the wall and she disappears behind it, does she walk through the wall, or does the wall, like, appear in front of her?
She seals the wall in front of her, therefore she is concealed by it.
Right, okay. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't an illusion that she can travel through or something.
No. What's everyone's
Has Nana ever done something like that before?
Aerith is not this. She like runs up and starts like scrabbling at the wall, like calling, and Nana, what are you doing?
When you pat the wall or smack your hands against it, it feels just as solid as every single other wall in this basement. And it sort of takes your sound as well, as though it's padded. Like the sound has been reduced. It's almost like if you were to shout, no one would hear you.
Aerith looks incredibly panicked, and she's like running back and forth, and she's like, Nana's never done something like this before. Why would she lock us down here? It doesn't make sense.
Aerith, calm down. It's going to be fine. She's your Nana after all. This is all going to be for the good of us. Perhaps she's not locking us in here to trap us, but to hide us.
Nana is incredibly powerful. If she's this worried, I dread to think about what it could be.
I dread to think of how bad it would be for them if your Nana is that powerful. If you scare... Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I was going to say, when you're down there, after you say powerful, there's a beat of silence that comes over you, and you hear a clunking footstep above your heads. And when you look up, you can see the sort of, the floorboards, which have, like, beams underneath, and a tiny little bit of dust just falls down from the floorboard around about here and actually lands on Aerith. And you look up and you can see the shadow of something peeking through the floorboards. Very thin floorboard gaps, by the way. You can't make out fully what it is.
How far up is the ceiling?
It's about, I'd say about 15 feet high.
I'm going to teleport straight through the roof.
Okay. Okay, give me a second here.
I'm going to try to. I don't know if there's some magic stopping me.
I just need to work that out. Just give me a second. Okay. Okay. You teleport through the roof, which you are completely able to do. And when you do, you are suddenly in the presence of a woman, tall, with a sort of ram's head skull hat on her head, like a helmet, and a very slender black leather outfit. She's wearing a cape, she has a very large staff, and she's in the middle of stepping forth through this door. And as she steps through, as you appear, the split second that you appear, her eyes are dead set on Sue. And as soon as she walks in, she says, Sue. Sue says, yep, that's me. And then poof, you've sort of appeared, and that's the sort of 2 phrases that you've heard as you appear. And as soon as you appear, her eyes dart towards you. Ah. Looks like, End was right. You're hiding them here, aren't you? And Sue looks over at Aerith and says, in your mind, I told you to stay downstairs, what are you doing? And I'd like Aerith to roll initiative, please. It's not combat, it's just, it might be, but it's not now. It's just for turn order's sake. So... Oh fuck, I've got so much shit in here. Right, just roll it again. I'll take whatever you get. Oh no, you got the 8, didn't you? Sorry, excuse me. I'm just going to add you in the initiative because I accidentally left the rest of the shit up, so you got an 8. And Sue... He's going to go before everybody else. Yep, Sue's messaging you, and she's going to come straight over to you, grab you, look in your eyes, and say, I told you to look after your friends, in your head. Stay downstairs. And she slams you into the ground, suplexes you, as you know she well does, but this feels personal. Like, it feels like she's mad that you've done this. And you come careening through the ceiling, slamming down onto the floor, back into the room below.
Aerith lands straight on her head and is just, oh dear. Oh.
What did you see?
I'm not sure. There was these, they looked like shadow creatures, didn't they?
Yeah, you saw a woman. You weren't necessarily, because of the split second that it happened in, you wouldn't have necessarily focused too much on the shadows around her, but you would have sensed that there was this dark presence surrounding her. Shadows cast along the wall that aren't hers, and she looked extremely imposing and incredibly powerful.
There was an incredibly powerful woman with like this ram's head skull mask thing on, looked at Sue, and she looked incredibly mad when I came up there and slammed me back to the floor, and that's really all I saw.
Mm-hmm. That description sounds familiar, doesn't it?
It sounds definitely familiar to anyone who heard Will of the
I'm going
Farewell
to cast
speech.
Locate Object on the unicorns on him.
Archie, you, with your iridescent eyes, peer up through the floorboards, and glowing sort of silvery through it is the shape of a a cone, long cone shape. It seems to be moving with its point face downwards, as though attached to a holster.
She's the one with Eladrin's horn.
What's your passive perception?
Mine?
Yeah.
21.
When you hold for a second to listen, you hear... That didn't take me very long, did it, Sue? And you hear... I don't know what you're talking about, it's just my daughter, she's very nosy. You've got to pay attention to the fact that, you know, people like to know what's going on every now and then. Sue, don't trifle with me. I've been sent by Enderlin. And if I were you, I'd be very careful. This power, well, doesn't come from the mere 3 hags that you know of. Have you ever heard of their mother? Sue goes, well, from legend, yeah, I've heard lots about her mother. Very powerful indeed. Are you threatening me? And she says, what if I am? Would you give them up? And she says again, Sue says, them? What, my daughter? Her pronouns are she, her. And you just hear it. And Archie, only you hear this. Yes, you relay this conversation. Do you keep listening, or would you like to say something?
So I think Archie's going to do it, like, you know, like how some sort of translator might be listening and talking. That's kind of how Archie's doing it. So she's listening and she's speaking at the same time.
Okay.
She's not saying anything other than, like, what they're saying. Or at least the closest approximation to it.
Yeah.
So, real quick, they call Sue mother?
No, she says, don't trifle with me. My power doesn't come from just those hags. It comes from their mother. So this woman who's entered your nana's tavern is implying that she holds power that's much bigger than those hags from their mother. If you make an intelligence check, I could give you a bit more.
I can make that check if anybody else doesn't care.
Would we not already know because we saw the paintings?
You did see the paintings, yeah, so you could have advantage.
19.
Okay, 19. Yeah. What you infer from this, Aerith, because you wouldn't have heard, given your sort of sheltered childhood, you wouldn't have heard much about the lore of this person that she's referring to. However, you would understand as a warlock yourself that when someone's talking about getting power from somebody, this mother of hags, you can infer, that this woman is a warlock getting her power from the mother of hags. And Mother of Hags, you would presume, Archie, is the person who was featured above all of those paintings. No name ascribed to those paintings, but still, you recollect. So you recall her face. You recall her metal teeth.
Metal clanking teeth.
Mm-hmm.
She gets all of her power from the mother of the hag. Who could that be?
I don't know, but she has clanking metal teeth. Do you remember those paintings?
If Flopsy or Holland want to make a history check, you may.
Coming right up. 8.
Okay, Holland with a 10. When the phrase Mother of All Hags is announced, you have this vague memory of a sort of fairy tale book that has pictures that look similar to the portrait that you saw in Scabatha's house. And you vaguely remember letters of a name, like something like Bagger or Beager or something like that. You're not quite sure.
Do you think it's like Oingo Boingo?
Oingo
You know,
Boingo.
from the
Oh.
You actually remember it starkly because you remember a scene in the book that's illustrated of her tearing like the sort of flesh from like children, but painted in such a way that was like almost metaphorical, so it wasn't as scarring to witness as an illustration, but you could get what now your older brain goes, oh yes, she was eating children.
she was eating.
Oh my god.
I can't remember her name. Baby yogurt or something.
Can
Baby
Aerith make,
yogurt.
Can Aerith what, Jason?
I assume in the Feywild there's only a few deities you could have patrons with, right?
Is this you speaking as Jason or Aerith?
Aerith.
Yeah. Yeah, Jason, you might know, but Aerith certainly doesn't, because that's not lore that's ever been revealed to her, because she's lived a very sheltered life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Who's Biba? What did you just say, Holland?
Yogurt.
Baby yogurt.
Baby yogurt?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry, yogurt. That's what we call it.
Baby yogurt, because she makes yogurt out of babies.
That sounds awful.
Well,
Archie,
she was.
You haven't even rolled a history check yet, Archie. There might be
Archie's-
something in your memory.
Yeah, Archie's a bit slow because she's drunk, but Archie has a little thing. I think he'll find that she knows a lot.
When you're slurring the words baby yogurt, you're like, baby yogurt? Baba Yaga? And then it hits you. Baba Yaga, the mother of all hags. Why have you never pieced this before, you wonder? That when you saw that painting, of course. But you never knew that Baba Yaga had had 4 daughters. You thought she only had 1. So those extra 3 daughters, you think, wow, I would never have pieced that together. But the very thought of someone getting their power from Baba Yaga, it strikes you as very terrifying indeed.
This isn't good. This isn't good. Okay, I don't have time to explain everything right now, but needless to say, that person up there, Aerith, don't go back up there. Because we can't handle it. If anything, okay, we need to find another way out of here. We can't waste time.
Well, we can't go through that door.
Right, no, but we're gonna have to find another way.
Can we really let them walk away with Eladrin's horn? You said they have it.
Yeah. And there's a time and a place for everything. But they know we're here from the conversation. And they are prepared. This is not the time. This isn't the place. Right now, Sue's saying that she doesn't know where we are. If they come looking, if they find us, then that shows Sue's a liar. If they can't find us, then it's better than anything else. I don't think we stand a chance.
If this Baba Yaga is as powerful as you are acting like she is my Nana going to be okay?
At that, you hear a tremendous thunk on the ground and a growl that seems to be from the voice of Alexander. And a painful growl at that. And Archie, with your incredible hearing, you hear, now tell me where they are. And you hear, honestly, I've no idea. I've seen them in here before, but they... And she gets cut off. They were in here. Endelyn knows they're here. Skabatha and Babylona know they're here. As they're all together watching them. And you know as well as I that a hag coven has a hag's eye. And through it, they can choose to see whenever they like. Now don't play stupid with me. Because you don't know the power I wield. And you hear this crackling sound of what seems to be building lightning. And then suddenly like a zoom noise. And then...
I'm sorry, Aerith.
And then you hear...
Yeah.
What was that? Sue says, I don't know what you mean. What power is this? No. You hear footsteps. You hear a door slamming.
Coming towards us?
No.
Going away from us?
You're not sure.
Okay. Oh, Never mind, I take back my apology. I think she might have done it. Just in case, everyone get your stuff prepared. No, she looks over to the wall, which used to be a door.
There's a distinct silence. You hear sort of shuffling, but nothing that seems to be coming your way.
Aerith says, you said we need to get out of this room?
I don't know. It sounded like we needed to, but I think Baba Yaga's like disciple or whatever, I think she had some sort of complication. She couldn't do whatever she was trying to do.
But
I don't know.
We've fought 2 of the hags and they were incredibly powerful. If
Right.
he's supposedly stronger than them, then what could be stronger than that?
The power of love. Or something. I don't know.
Nana's love for me?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm a little bit drunk. I mean, I'm a little bit sober. But maybe that's what, caused the complication. Hags know nothing of love. They don't know how to defend themselves from it. Maybe that's the edge we have against them.
It may sound silly, but it does make sense to me. When I asked your Nana how this place was so well protected, she did talk about love afterwards.
Yeah. It makes sense to me. My Nana's always been really strong. She suplexes people through the floor after all.
Yeah. She did that to you.
No kidding, I wasn't ready for it. I hit my head.
Aerith, in your mind, you hear, Aerith, darling, I need a little bit of time, okay? Bear with me.
Is everything okay, Nana?
Everything's fine. You're just going to have to stay down there a little bit longer. So, just wait where you are and everything will be okay.
Do you want me to mention
Is
anything?
everything alright, Earth?
Sorry, say that again, Jason.
Do you want me to mention anything to them?
Oh, just tell them everything's fine. And everything will be okay, and yeah, you'll just have to wait a little longer.
Okay. Aerith smiles and says, my Nana's okay. Everything's fine. She just said give her a bit more time and we'll be out of here.
Well, we could try and open the door. Maybe she needs help. She might have fallen over. I know that old people are like really proud or something, but if she's fallen, then she needs help.
No, Aerith points to the door down here and says, nobody can go through that door. Nana's rule.
That's the door that Aerith's talking about. It's got a light above
What
it.
is it?
Yeah, when you look at the door itself, you see it's a very ornate door. It's quite unusual in the way that it's made of metal and it's sort of bound and sort of what's the word? Like welded in certain areas to like create this like patchwork looking style door. But embossed in the metal are certain like sigils and symbols.
Do I recognize any of these sigils?
Yeah, you see that it looks to be quite decorative. There seems to be like sort of images of like a cat and like a crow. There's like a random little assortments of things like a pestle and mortar and like herbs and spices and things like that. As well as what looks like delicate machinery with like different pipes and things. Like as well, whilst you're in this basement, you see these contraptions that they're sort of metalwork and like almost steam like engines and things like that in here, and they're sort of replicated too on this door.
So she's like a tinkerer. What do you think's behind that door?
I don't know, but nobody's allowed in. Nana's always made that a rule, even when I was young.
Why?
I never questioned it. I just followed the rule.
Well, Archie, you can't hear anything that's being said now, can you? From upstairs.
She puts her hand to her ear and sees if she can hear anything.
No, you can't. You can just hear soft movements.
No, it sounds like there's something moving.
Well, perhaps they've moved into another room. So, Aerith, I know you don't want to go through that door, but don't think of it as trespassing. Sometimes when I say things are okay, it's because, quite frankly, they're not very okay, and I need to try and tell myself that they're going to be okay. I think we should carry on going and see if we can hear them above us, just to make sure they're fine.
Aerith, very shakily, resists at first, and then says, "You think it's best? I want to open the door then."
You go over to the door, and you see that there doesn't seem to be a handle to it. Would you like to make an intelligence check? Whoa! As you sort of graze your hand over these, like, embossed metalwork, you see upon one of the sigils, one of the little symbols there, seems to be the tavern itself with its many feet underneath. And as you sort of brush your hand over that, your hand sort of comes in contact with sort of a hardened, what appears to be dried liquid. And when you take a closer look, this dried liquid seems that it used to be sticky and it's dried like glue. And within it are streaks of blood, of sort of spots of blood throughout this. And from your intelligence being a 19 there, you can presume that this is spit mixed with blood that has been wiped along the door.
Aerith pulls out her knife, cuts her hand.
Oh, Aerith, are you okay?
I'm fine. Spits in it and swipes it across the door.
The door jolts and vibrates a little. And doesn't swing outwards or inwards or anything, it just sort of descends into the ground. Which is unusual because every time you've seen her sort of, like, out of the corner of your eye enter this door, you'd presumed it opens on a hinge, but no. It descends into the ground almost like melting and reveals a room that you've never seen before in your entire life. A room that you couldn't even imagine.
Now, before she steps in, Aerith looks back and says, "This is your guys' fault."
Huh. You emerge onto what appears to be a little, feet. What's it called? Like a welcome mat with an image of a bear on it. Looks to be quite well worn. And as you walk in, you see a very comfortable looking room. Nice little armchair with a small black domestic cat sitting upon it. And he is asleep. And you see a little table with like a tea set on there. You see a little sort of pen of chickens. And several chickens at that. All here in this little sort of enclosure. Many different bits of food and sort of pieces of paper and things like that. And by this chair, like a little on this side of the table here, sort of a small pile of letters, and a doorway beyond, which, even though this like sort of dresser here seems to cover it, it's not that it's very well hidden.
Aerith will scooch it over to the side and head on through.
Okay. As you're sort of climbing over this, is what is everybody else doing? We've got Octavia sort of following behind Archie the whole time. Holland, what are you doing?
Holland will take up the rear, I guess, because he can have his shield at the ready in case anything comes in behind him.
Okay. You sort of stand behind. Flopsy, what are you doing?
Flopsy's going to be looking up at the floorboards above us. Are these the same? Does the ceiling look the same as in the other room? Or does the entire...
When you walk into here, it feels like you're entering like a like there's almost like a feeling of like a displacement in reality. Again, as it's like a TARDIS, it's much bigger. So it feels like you're entering somewhere that's not very stable. The ceiling itself, when you look up at it, it kind of gives you vertigo.
Okay. While he's looking up at the ceiling, he is going to be looking for any dust that's falling down, like it fell on Aerith before, but is probably very fruitlessly doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just going to kind of wide-eyed look around the room, but focus more on Aerith.
When you look around the room, you see all the same stuff that everyone I did describe earlier, like the chickens in the pen, all of the bits of food that like seem to be like half eaten and like cast aside, like a half eaten sandwich or half eaten apple. But it seems like this is the home of someone who grazes a lot on many different things, that they keep their mouth busy. Upon this table, obviously, we see the letters, opened envelopes and things like that. There's large fire, still burning, and Aerith climbing over this table, this dresser.
Well, Archie's gonna look at the map of like Octavia. It's one of those half there, half there's. As she continues walking.
Octavia sort of like stifles a laugh, and she's like, "It feels kind of creepy in here."
What do you think?
Is this
I think it's quite cozy.
She looks over at Aerith, who's like about to finish the crawl through, and she says, "Is this like your mom's like? Oh, sorry, your nana? Is this like her like living room? Are we supposed to be here?"
Hey, this wasn't my idea. I told you we aren't supposed to go through here. We're in here now, so...
Yeah, but, like, I feel like I'm... Like, you know, this is, like, her private zone. Like... Ew. I don't know. I don't know if I like this.
Yeah, I agree, actually. It seemed like a good idea, but I'm just going to see if I can actually hear anything.
At this point now, even with your passive perception, it's almost like you are enclosed in a otherworldly space.
Yeah, I think, Aerith, I'll take, like, the blame if your nana, is mad at us for coming in here. I do think I think Octavia's right. We shouldn't have come in here.
It's you who told...
I know, that's why I'm saying I'll take the blame.
Aerith's still going through.
Aerith, you go through, and as you do, you see this huge corridor with two different staircases leading into a room which is humming with pink, the colour pink. The beat of it is like a heart, like blood pulsing through your body. this pink, like, sort of fuchsia beating against the walls. The wallpaper is very garish and old, like, kind of like the back rooms, not gonna lie, but this red beats against the walls. It's very soft, but also quite freakishly harsh pink beating coming from those staircases. When you look to your left, you see all the way down this long corridor, round a corner. It doesn't seem that there's much light coming from that area.
What looks on the right?
On the right, you see, again, the end of this corridor and another staircase going along where that pink light is beating against the walls.
Flopsy, are you coming?
I have to say I quite agree with Archie and Octavia at the minute. It seemed like a good idea to come in here, but we aren't getting any closer to hearing anything or helping out upstairs.
Yes.
Yeah,
You
I
guys
think this is more like a sort of, I don't know. You found the rabbit's hole. You followed the white rabbit in, and now you can only go deeper. But I don't know. Just curiosity killed the cat.
You've said yourself that your Nana is very powerful. If this is where she works on things, then who knows what could be down there.
But you don't wonder why she was able to take down that lady who took the powers of Baba Yaga or whatever. Apparently very powerful. And like all my life I've been told not to go in here. And Archie asked the one question that I never dared to. Why?
Yeah.
You guys don't have to go. This is no obligation, but I want to know what's down there.
There's no way we could convince you.
Aerith shakes her head.
Okay, then I'm coming.
Like, really? But, like, this feels super weird. Like, you know, you don't just go in someone's home. Like, you gotta be invited and stuff, and they might make you tea. And she, like, goes over to the tea set on the table and, like, sort of knocks a little, like, teapot over it, spills a little on the letters, and she, like, picks up one of the letters and, like, shakes it. She's like, oh my gosh, I'm ruining everything. She's gonna know we've been in here.
Okay, Octavia,
Got to chill out.
What did you say, Lauren?
You have got to chill out.
Me?
Yes,
Yeah.
you.
Oh.
Aerith gets that stern mother look and like looks at Octavia for the bookcase. You are in no obligation to come. You can stay in that stone room with the owlbear if that makes you feel better. But this
and
is
I'll stay with you.
Okay. She passes you the wet letter. That's doused in, like, cold tea.
I'll not put it on the floor. Come on. If you don't want to be in here, we don't have to.
Okay.
So let's step out here.
Aerith, I already told you earlier tonight that I can't let you go on your own into danger. Just know that if you decide to go further, you're taking at least me with you.
Wouldn't have it any other way.
Alright, Holland, what are you doing? You've seen
Going.
Archie slaps the wet letter on the ground here, and Flopsy and Aerith are about to venture forward.
Yeah, Holland was always eager to go. He has no problem being in people's shit. He lives in a fucking caravan with 3 other people. Oh no.
When Octavia was holding the letter, what was the letter? Out of curiosity.
You can't see from all the way over there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just been slapped onto the ground by Archie. Yeah. But Holland, you are passing across this rug, this carpet, and you do see it on the ground. If you would like to glance at it or pick it up, it's up to you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Do you speak Sylvan or read Sylvan?
Yes.
It's a stupid question because I think everybody fucking speaks Sylvan nowadays.
Indeed.
Yeah. Written in Sylvan, you see a letter which is the ink has begun to bleed a little, but it's written in red ink on black paper which glows a little, and you see, "Dearest Mother, where is Tasha? You know we were involved this past millennia, and I've been dying to see her and catch up again. Plus, I believe she has a few things of mine. A conversation is long overdue. Answer, or I will find you and ask in person. Loving kisses, Grazd." And that's spelt like this.
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you pick up. Or if you glance at it from the ground, you could read it from there. It's up to you.
That's weird. There's this letter from
From who?
Graz.
Grazd?
There's no apostrophe, so it's weird.
Can I see it?
Sure.
Do I recognize the handwriting?
When you observe the handwriting, you see it's very spider-like. It's very spindly and harsh, like fast written. It seems to be, when you analyse this, it seems to be written by someone who's rather aggressive. But yeah, you see those words that I said. Would you like a update, or can you remember?
Grazd and Tasha.
Yeah. Where is Tasha?
Where is Tasha? It's been a millennia.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know we were involved this past millennia. I've been dying to see her and catch up again. Plus, I believe she has a few things of mine. A conversation is long overdue. Answer, or I will find you and ask in person.
No, dear.
And it also said "Dear Mother," didn't it?
It did. Dearest Mother.
No.
Wait. I never... Mother?
You've never recalled her having any sons?
I didn't know she had any other children.
I mean, maybe it's not hers. Maybe she steals things too.
Well, only one way to know, right? Aerith turns around and starts heading in.
Where do you go?
I'm gonna start down this way.
You peer on this corner.
Eyes and follows.
Yeah.
Come on, Holland, if you're coming.
I am. This is kind of fun. It's spooky. Like the Hall of Illusions.
Aerith, you peer down this corridor, and it opens up, like, up a couple of steps, about 3 or 4 steps, onto a raised room floor. And through it you see barrels, tables, and upon which these tables have seemingly, like, chopped up animal parts that are sort of splayed open and torn in certain areas, but very delicately and carefully. When you look to your right, you see bones upon this table here. And your vision expands to this very, very large cauldron in the centre of the room, from which is emitting this pink, bubbling sort of atmosphere. You can't quite think it's gas, you can't quite think it's liquid, you can't quite think it's air. It's just seems to be this light that emanates from it.
God, this doesn't, like, the splayed open animals, and oh my god, that doesn't sound like anything I've ever seen Nana do, does it? Like, That sounds awful.
Holland, are you following Flopsy and Aerith through this area?
Yeah, sorry, I'm not on that.
That's okay. I'm doing it for you. Yeah, you're sort of behind Flopsy as Aerith's peeking in and saying this is not something she's ever heard of before. From this room, Aerith, when you walk into it, you get this weird feeling. It's almost like this sweet nostalgia, but like a sense of strange dread and almost like fear hits you as the full room comes into view. Again, more animal parts like claws of lobsters, and here you see what seems to be some sort of like baby dragon that's like torn apart and its organs all spilling out of it. You see what appears to be a beholder's head split in half and dissected to its core. All these little parts and pieces left open midway through the surgery.
Jesus Christ.
And several, and I mean 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 exits from this room.
Your Lorna seem to share some hobbies.
I'll go to that one.
When you creep into this area, ignoring Holland as you're so shocked by this, as soon as you enter this little corridor area, you hear this wet sort of hissing, this noise, sort of as if mandibles are wetly scraping together, this spider-esque noise. And you see a web right here on the corner. And as you peer down the rest of the corridor, more webs are revealed to you. To a point where you think travelling much more further would get you trapped, as these webs are almost liquid in the sense that they spread from wall to wall. They look like you couldn't pass through them without touching them.
I'll come back to that.
Flopsy, what are you doing when Aerith comes back, looking quite pallid in her face?
Looks stark fucking white, like, and like incredibly scared, but she doesn't know why.
Flopsy just looks confused, but focuses in on Aerith. Are you okay, Aerith? Have you seen anything like this before?
No, I didn't know all of this existed.
I'm sure there's a reasonable explanation behind all of it, but I think it might be time to go back now. Back to Archie and Octavia, and make sure everything's fine over there. Does that sound good?
Yeah, let me just look at one more thing. I'm gonna step up to this and look inside.
Don't get too close, Aerith.
Aerith, as you approach this cauldron, as soon as you take a step onto this little step-up platform here, like nausea just hits you like a wave. This whispering, swirling in your mind. As you step closer, the whispering gets even stronger. You can't make out any words that are said. It sounds almost infernal. Do you know infernal?
I do not.
This demonic sound. It seems as though it's not just coming from the cauldron, it's coming from the depths. From the depths of reality itself. Meanwhile, speaking of Octavia and Archie, you are in the basement, chilling. Octavia is standing with her back to the door. The door is slightly ajar. And the glow of Sue's living room sort of still sheds a light across the ground. She's breathing quite scared, anxious.
Are you okay?
No, I don't feel right about this. This isn't right. This is like some lady's like house. I'm not. You know about the rules. You know, hospitality and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when it seemed like a good idea, it was out of safety, but I don't even know why they're still going in there other than just being curious. Well, I'll try and... I mean, I could message Aerith, but I don't know if I'll convince her.
Okay, well, give it a go. I mean, it's safer than, like, getting caught down here, right?
Yeah. Hey, Aerith. You found anything interesting? You ready to come back?
There's I don't even know how to describe it. I'll go on to describe the baby dragon and the beholder and just the various animal parts.
Oh my god.
In the middle of the room.
Well, listen, you don't want to be in there if that's the case. I think you should come back.
Yeah, we're coming. Nana has some answers to give.
Maybe it'd be better to just say we didn't go down there and hope she believes us. If you come back quick, we can probably shut this door and she wouldn't know the difference.
Oh, sorry. Aerith will step away. We can go, Flopsy.
I think that's the best idea.
Aerith looks, like frowns and is like, all of my life, my Nana acted like they were incredibly close to me. And they've been hiding all of this from me this entire time. This awful, horrible things. I don't understand.
I don't think you can ever fully know somebody. They'll always have something that you can't see. Just because we're seeing it like this, and he looks at all the dead bodies and struggles to finish the sentence, doesn't mean that it's something terrible. Your Nana does a lot of good, so maybe this isn't all as it seems. That's probably why she didn't want you to see it, because you might think the wrong ideas. I think it's best if we go back into normalcy for now.
I didn't even know she had others. I didn't know I had brothers and sisters. And Aerith very dejectedly excuses herself and says, "Excuse me," as she goes past Holland.
As she goes past you, Holland, what are you making of the situation as Flopsy's left in this room with all these bodies of different creatures?
I kind of want to keep going. Like, I mean, I suppose it's not my decision, but one of these doors goes somewhere.
I'm not going to lie to you, Holland. I kind of agree with you. I don't necessarily feel like we're safe being protected by Nana after seeing all of this.
I mean, we could...
I would just say, Flopsy and Holland, just give me a second, please, RP amongst yourself.
Aerith would have heard them saying that, right?
Yeah, but because I can't be here right now, I just need to nip to the bathroom. Just RP amongst yourself, Holland, Flopsy, Aerith, if you come back, fair dues.
Flopsy wouldn't have said the I don't trust Nana. If Aerith was within earshot, I thought you were across the way.
No. I mean, yeah, okay. But Holland says, when you say I think we should keep going, Aerith says, I mean, I want to, but I have so many questions.
Well, I mean, it's up to you in the end, but I just know that I'd want the full picture. Who knows what else she has in these other rooms?
Well, this room right here, she points at, there was a lot of thick webs and some like weird chittering.
Weird chittering, was that?
Yeah, it's hard to describe.
I'm back.
Do you think that she has animals that are still alive down here?
Aerith, you recollect the sound of the slithery sort of mandible sound, and yeah, you feel that that's true.
Is that message link with Archie still up?
You coming, Aerith? Yeah.
I think we need you down here.
Why?
There's really, pardon my French, fucked up things down here.
Right, all the more reason to leave.
No, I think my nan has been... There's still things alive down here.
But like things that like hurt things.
Flopsy and Holland, like in her mind, Aerith says, "No, I think it's things that she's been," and then you see her visibly like gag and almost throw up, experimenting on.
Okay.
Please,
Octavia.
Yeah? Sorry, I thought you were like daydreaming.
Oh no! When I put my finger to my head, that's because I messaged. Yeah, it's because I'm doing this.
Oh. Oh, hi. No, that, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm really freaked out. I'm not gonna lie. I don't feel comfortable doing any of this.
Apparently, there's like things that are being experimented on. We might be able to save them.
Well, that's even worse. Like, what do you mean? I didn't... experiment on?
I know. I don't know if... I don't know if I'm gonna be able... I'm gonna message Aerith. Aerith, just come back.
Aerith does not immediately respond.
Aerith, come back.
Aerith looks at Flopsy and Holland and audibly out loud says, "If we do this, I don't think Archie's coming."
Why not?
She's very concerned about Octavia.
Hmm.
I have to admit I'm quite concerned about you, Aerith. I'm conflicted because, I mean, look at this. It's something we probably should get the bigger picture of, but you're really close to this. I don't want you getting hurt. And I don't mean physically. I know you can protect yourself that way, but this is your Nana.
Well, you don't have to worry about that, Flopsy.
And at that, Aerith, in your head, you hear another voice. Hello, darling. You can come back up now. It's all fine. I'll make the door normal again, and you can come back up. Don't worry. Everything's safe.
You didn't tell me you had any other children.
No.
Oh.
Iconic.
When you come back up, I'll explain everything. It's fine.
What is all this down here, Nana? My friends suggested we open the door to find you and make sure that the people still weren't here. I told them it's not a good idea. But when they insisted, I opened the door myself, walked in, and I saw everything.
At that moment that you say that, Aerith, you feel your body jolt towards this corridor, as well as you, Holland and Flopsy. All of you feel like you're being dragged through the corridor by like a very strong wind. There's no point in making a save against this. You feel you go tumbling over the place which you came, through the front door, which slams behind you, and the the brick wall which was once there evaporates into a wooden door, and Sue steps forth. Everybody make a wisdom saving throw.
Whoa, that's lucky.
I'm also going. Is this a charm effect or a fear effect?
It's not charm or fear.
Okay.
Oh, also, my new thing. Everyone gets fucking shit. Yeah, +4 to save throws.
Well, that's a good old 6.
+4. 18.
Yeah.
Okay.
24.
Oh,
18, 24.
Holland!
Nat 20.
Whoa!
Holland with a 30.
Aerith's absolutely distraught. Like as Nana walks down, Aerith doesn't look angry. She just looks hurt.
As she descends these stairs, Aerith, you see her. She's your Nana. She's like hurt. She has like a little scratch on her face. A little tiny like bit of torn clothes area on her outfit. And Aerith, you have no idea what's just happened. But everybody else remembers. Except Octavia and Aerith. Octavia sort of shakes her head a little bit, and she doesn't even remember going through the door. Like, she's just sort of standing there with Archie, like as if it was just then when you got told to stay behind. Flopsy, Archie, and Holland, you all recall your experiences clear as crystal. But Aerith, when you're out of there, you don't even remember going through that door. And she comes down the stairs, and she says, "Everything's all right now, darlings. Don't you have to worry about it. It's absolutely fine. It was just a little intruder, and we've got rid of him. And don't worry as well, because Alexander's absolutely fine. He did get in a bit of a scuffle, but it's okay. We slammed him through the floor, and then they're gone. It's fine."
Oh, that's really good to hear, Nana. I'm glad that everything's all right.
Yeah, everything's fine.
Good. She's going to insight check Holland and Flopsy and Archie, as she is very aware of the failure. She's just going to insight check you for the reason why you're lying. She already knows you are, and you can tell this from her expression. Because you are aware of this knowledge still. You get the impression that she is aware that you still have this knowledge. But she will insight check you for a reason why. So I'd like you to all three of you make charisma saves.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Okay.
Plus you 4.
Plus the 4. Okay. Holland and Flopsy, she glances over you, but her eyes set on Archie. And Archie, what is your exact thought process?
Oh my god.
Wow.
Oh my god. Well, I think Archie's figured it out.
What is Archie's exact thought process right now?
Archie's exact thought process. What, like, so of all of this? So
Exactly what Archie thinks. She remembers everything. She knows everything from what has been said to her through message. She hasn't read the note, so just from what Archie knows.
From what Archie knows.
Not what from Peach knows, from what Archie knows.
No.
Yep.
But from what Archie knows.
What is Archie's exact thoughts right now? I will give you a bit of time to get that together because it's quite difficult considering you've seen things that Archie hasn't seen.
Yeah, but I think Archie knows.
Based on what?
Based on that she knew a history book and also the tavern.
Okay. Now, elaborate on what Archie knows.
Would you say that Archie knows? Archie certainly believes that this... oh my god. Baba Yaga.
Sue's eyes feel like as though they're boring into yours.
And the shaking.
And you start to feel incredibly sleepy and cozy. And for the first time in what seems like years, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh my gosh.
+4.
Oh my god.
You scared?
I'm shaking.
Oh my god.
You, for a split second, thought for a moment that you could feel like your heart felt a bit sore. The kind of sore that you feel when you miss someone a lot, you know? The kind of sore that it feels when you just really, really want to be near somebody and you feel your arm sort of outstretched towards Octavia and she, none the wiser, takes it. And you look towards her and she looks at you. And she has a bit of fear in her eyes and you can tell she doesn't know why. But you look over to Sue. And you see Sue. But all of your thoughts about her remain. And then you feel your eyelids heavy and shut. And you faint on the ground. And that...
Nana, what happened to Archie?
And that is where we're going to leave
Oh my
tonight's
god.
session.
Wow.
I've been on the edge of my seat for the last like hour to an hour and a half.
Fucking Cade's like Nor Clear.
Literally my hands are shaking. I'm having like muscle spasms. I feel like Sue's doing something to me.
Well, guys. Well, looks like you're gonna have to wait until next week. Now, next week, if I can come up with a very valid reason as to why Flopsy's not here, because Andrew's not here.
Racing off against like not Baba Yaga, totally not Baba Yaga right now. So
Oh my god.
sure, something might not happen to Flopsy.
Well, we'll have to see if we can continue next week without Andrew. If I can come up with a perfectly reasonable reason as to why Flopsy is inactive, then sure, we'll be here again next week. But if not, then we might have to skip. But that just comes down to if I can thread things well enough. But yeah, so thank you very much for listening, everybody. I love fucking Cade's reactions. Cade's reactions are so great. Like, come on. And Beth as well, just like, why have they turned into alcoholics? what happened to turn them into alcoholics?
We'll watch the episodes to find out, and you can find them all on our YouTube, so make sure you like, comment, and subscribe.
And I have uploaded all the most recent streams as well, so they're all there for you to have a little glance at. Yeah, we've got Thunderdome, we've got the Moon's Calling Part 2, which is now concluded.
I
So
most
yeah,
anticipated part 2, but yeah.
yeah. So yeah, enjoy, and we'll see what happens next week. No promises, but we'll see. Good night, and yeah, bye. Do you have an Easter egg for us?
Oh my
Peach?
god! I thought it had
No,
ended.
no,
I
it's
was
not
going
ended. Have you got an Easter egg?
my god, it's the Easter egg.
Yeah.
Baby
Cast your
yogurts.
mind. Shush. No. This is a long one. Cast your mind back to a few, like session 8. Session 8, exactly session 8, right? Episode 8, where there was this little distinction. The difference between this and the reason it's not Baba Yaga's house is because it doesn't have chicken legs. If it had chicken legs, it would be Baba Yaga's house. You fucking liar.
Good night. God bless. Baba Yaga loves you all.
Oh my god.
Bye.